In a world ruled by web video, where online entrepreneurs and marketers strive to get noticed and stand out from the rest, one man will fight to unite us all and unveil the true power of web video, one episode at a time. Welcome to the Video Revolver Podcast. Discover how to harness the power of web video to increase traffic and sales on your websites. Grow a loyal following online and crush your competition. And now, here's your host. He eats the same thing for breakfast every day of the week, and you probably think it's gross. Peter Beatty.
That is true, but I do enjoy a bowl of Fruity Pebbles once in a while. Hello and welcome to episode number 2 of the VideoRevolver.com podcast. I am, of course, your host, Peter Beatty. And in this episode, we're going to talk about how to build a 6-figure business with web video. And to do this, I'm going to basically tell you about my story and how I built my own business with web video. And hopefully my story will allow you to relate to me, and hopefully you will benefit from my story and learn a little bit from it, and also get to know me a little bit so you know who's actually speaking on the other end of this microphone here. So by telling you my story, again, I hope to motivate you and help you see that I'm just a normal person just like you, and that you can have similar, if not better, results than me. So before we get started, I want to remind you to head on over to my website, VideoRevolver.com, and make sure you sign up for free updates there, because I'm still working on building the Video Revolver brand. You know, I just started this podcast. We're on episode 2 now. I just started a new web show, Video Revolver TV, and you don't want to miss any of the new stuff that I put out, and I'm always sending out updates via email, so make sure you sign up for free updates at VideoRevolver.com and check out some other stuff that I offer on that website as well. I offer premium training on how to create better web videos in your business and all kinds of good stuff, so make sure you head on over to VideoRevolver.com. So let's get started with the show itself. Again, I'm going to tell you my story on how I got started and where I'm at now and how I used web video to help me get here. Now, to do this, I'm going to have to go back in time at least 8 or 9 years. You know, I'm 28 years old right now, and I feel that my journey kind of started when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, somewhere in that range. That's when I, basically got out of high school, and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life at all. All I knew is that I didn't want to work for someone else, and I wanted to make a lot of money someday so I could support myself and, basically do whatever I wanted to do. I did not want to answer to a boss, but I had no idea how I was going to make that dream come true. But over, the series of, I would say 4 years, that solution, or the way to help me reach that goal basically appeared to me, and the opportunities came, and I jumped on them, and one thing fell into another, one thing led to another, and things fell into place, and I basically ended up starting my own business, and of course, growing it to 6 figures. I'm on my 3rd year making 6 figures now, but it wasn't always that way. Things started off very tough. So let's rewind back in time and talk about how this all got started. So I graduated high school in the year 2003, 10 years ago now. I can't believe it. We're actually coming up on my 10-year high school reunion this summer, and kind of makes me feel old. But anyways, so like most people out of high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. All I knew was that I wanted to be my own business, my own boss someday. I wanted to own my own business, and I did not want to work for someone else. And of course, I wanted to make a lot of money, like most people do. But I had no idea what I was going to do at all. So what I did is I listened to all the people around me who were giving me advice. I said, I really don't know what I want to do. I like working on cars. Should I get into the automotive industry and become an auto mechanic and eventually work my way up to owning my own auto shop? Or should I get into the architecture field, because I like drawing. Maybe I'll like working in the architecture field and drawing floor plans. And people were, around me were giving me advice and saying, oh, you should get into this, you should get into that. But basically the same advice I was getting over and over again was that I should go to college for a few years, work my ass off, and then get a degree and get a job. And at the time, being 19 years old, I thought that was the only way to become successful. I had no idea what it would take or the possibilities that were out there to start a business, an internet marketing business, for example, and basically be an internet entrepreneur. I had no idea that possibility was out there. So the only thing that I knew was, hey, I need to go to college, work hard, and get a degree. So out of high school, I decided that, hey, I'm going to go to school for architecture. And but before I do that, I want to take a year off and basically make sure that this is what I want to do. A job working as a construction laborer at a local construction company. So I got a job, digging ditches and stuff like that, and worked in that field for about a year and a half. And when I turned about 20 years old, I decided, okay, I still don't know what I want to do with my life. All I know is I don't want to be working construction anymore because this sucks. Working 10, 11, 12-hour days around the clock in the hot sun, in the cold weather during the winter. I don't want to do this. The idea of working in architecture sounds really good to me right now, behind a warm desk. Well, I'm just going to go to school. So I ended up going through college and getting my degree in architectural design. It took me 3 years to get my 2-year degree because I was working full time at the same time I was going to school. And like I said, I ended up getting a job in architecture. And when I finally got that job, that office desk job, I thought I had the best job in the world. I really did. I was telling everyone else, I don't care how much money I make, as long as I'm not out there digging ditches, sweating my ass off, freezing my ass off in the winter. I'm working in a nice air-conditioned office, drawing floor plans on a computer. I've got the life. That's what I thought. And that lasted for about, I would say, a year and a half, 2 years, until the 9-to-5 office lifestyle really started to get to me. And I basically, I hated my job so much. After that second year, the office lifestyle, I just couldn't stand it. I could not stand watching everyone else in the office who had been in the architecture engineering industry for years and were just happy and content with themselves. And, they had no problem working in the same field for 40, 50 years and retiring, practically broke. I looked at all these, senior architects and senior engineers, and I thought to myself, I don't want to be that person, 40 or 50 years from now. What else is out there? There's got to be something else out there. There's got to be more to life than working behind a desk job. So eventually I started looking for a way out of the office lifestyle that I had worked so hard to get. So the first thing I did is I turned to the internet for the solution. I basically went on and I searched how to make money online or how to start my own business. And I came up with all these different ideas on how I was going to start my own business. And basically this business was going to allow me to make a lot of money so I could quit my job. And it didn't go quite exactly as planned. I had so many ideas on all the different businesses that I wanted to start. And I really was basically didn't know what I was doing. I was just coming up with all these random ideas, acting on them before I was, fully thinking them out, and just wasting a bunch of time. So what I did is I took note of all the things that I liked. I said, okay, what do I like? And maybe I'll find a business doing what I like. And one of the things I liked and I still like are cars. I like cars. So I said, okay, what can I do in the auto industry that would allow me to work around cars and be around cars and basically make money while doing it? So I came up with the idea, I'm going to start an auto detailing business. And if you're not interested or if you're not familiar with what auto detailing is, it's basically the business of, cleaning and washing cars, other people's cars for them. So I did all this research on how to start an auto detailing business. I went out there and I invested probably $1,000 on basic equipment. I bought huge supplies of car wax, car washes. I bought an air compressor. I bought a generator. I bought a power washing machine, and I was basically going to set up all this equipment on my truck, and I was basically going to be a mobile auto detailing operation where people would call me and I would drive to their house and clean and wash their cars for them for a price. So again, I bought all this information, I bought all these tools, and then I said, okay, so how am I going to advertise this auto detailing business? People need to find me. So that's how I got into learning how to build websites. I said, okay, I need to build myself a website. So I did all this research on SEO and building websites, and I ended up building my first website, which was for my auto detailing business. And I ended up getting it to the front page of Google for my local search terms. And I knew absolutely nothing about building websites. I basically just did a bunch of research online and basically built this website by hand with Photoshop, and I hand coded it with Dreamweaver. And again, I knew nothing about building websites. I basically just learned as I went. If I needed to know how to do something, I looked on YouTube or I looked online and looked up how to do it. So I ended up building this website, getting it on the front page of Google, and I ended up getting some clients. And I worked in this business for exactly one day. I went and cleaned one car, and I said, this sucks. This is not for me. This is a huge mistake. What am I thinking here? I can't be cleaning other people's cars for a living. This is stupid. So I ended up, after that first job, I went home and I sold all my equipment and on eBay, and lost a lot of money in the process. But it was a huge learning experience because I learned, what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to do back-breaking labor again. Even if it meant working for myself, I did not want to start a business where my income would be tied to the amount of time that I was working. For example, I would only be making money while I was cleaning other people's cars. And, going through that whole experience allowed me to discover that. And so I don't regret investing all that money in that equipment and building that website because it was a learning experience. It allowed me to learn what I didn't want to do. And it also taught me or allowed me to learn a very valuable skill, which was building websites and getting them ranked on the front page of Google. So from there on out, I figured, I'm pretty good at this website building stuff, so maybe I should look into an online business. So again, I went back to the internet and I looked for different ways on how to make money online. And one of the first things that I came across was, of course, a bunch of MLM or multi-level marketing opportunities. Now, in case you're not sure what an MLM marketing business is it's basically, so someone comes up with an idea for a business model and they basically enlist other people to sell their products for them. So let's say I wanted to start a business selling health supplements, okay? Then I would basically get a bunch of people on board and say, hey, if you sell this health supplement for me, you will get a commission. And also, the more people that you bring on to also sell this health supplement, you will also earn a commission for every health supplement that they sell, so on and so on, all the way down the line. So not only will you earn commissions on what you sell, but you'll also earn commissions on what people in your downline sell. So that's the basic way I can describe an MLM marketing opportunities. If you need more clarification on that, go ahead and Google that term. But that's the basics of an MLM marketing business. And that was the first business model that I dabbled in. I went online and I started promoting that MLM business. I don't want to say the name of it because I don't want to, bash anybody or anything like that, because there's nothing wrong with that business model. It's just not for me. So I started promoting this MLM marketing business online, and I used YouTube videos to do that. And I did start getting some results until I basically, I didn't feel right promoting this type of business because I really didn't feel it was ethical. And I, in order to promote this business, you had to basically say you were making a bunch of money in it. And most people were not making any money at all when they started out, including myself. And I just didn't feel right, bringing on other people, telling them, hey, you can make $10,000 a month, selling this product, because this is how much money I make. I wasn't making that much money, but the people in our upline were telling us to say that stuff. And me being a newbie to internet marketing, I didn't know any better. So eventually I got out of that business because it just didn't feel right. And I dabbled in other businesses, such as starting my own t-shirt business. I started selling things on eBay and Craigslist. So I'd basically find items locally that were of value that people were selling for cheap. Then I would go ahead and I would flip them on eBay, stuff like that. And then eventually I discovered internet marketing. I don't know I remember exactly how I came across it, but I came across Jeff Walker's product launch formula product. It was probably around the year 2007 when I came across this. 2007, yeah, I'd say 2007. And I was just totally amazed and mesmerized by the thought of owning an internet marketing business, selling your own products online. And I also came across what is now known as the offline marketing business, which basically means providing internet marketing services to offline local businesses. And I loved the idea of these business models. And I did a lot of research over the course of the following 2 years. I took every course on internet marketing. I read every article I could on internet marketing. I watched every YouTube video and tutorial on internet marketing. I basically became a pro at internet marketing, and I did it all while working at that day job as an architectural designer. While I was working behind the desk, working on floor plans, I would have my headphones on and I would basically be listening to courses from Ryan Deiss on how to build membership sites. I'd be listening to a course from Frank Kern on how to launch a product. So what I did is I basically just learned everything I could about internet marketing, but I never really took it serious, and I never took the next step into putting any of the information I learned into action. Although I hated my job, I didn't really need to quit my job. I didn't need another source of income. Although I wasn't making much money, I was probably making around $35,000-$40,000 a year at my job. I didn't need another source of income because I was making money, and I thought I had a nice secure job. I just thought, okay, someday I'm going to start my business, but not right now. Mainly because people around me didn't really believe that was the best choice for me. They thought I should stay in my job because that was the secure thing to do. They thought that the internet marketing stuff that I was listening to and learning, they just didn't really think it would work for me. They thought it was a scam. So, basically I listened to everyone else, which I shouldn't have did. And I just stuck to my job, and I had this dream in the back of my mind that, hey, someday I am going to take action on all this stuff I'm learning, and I'm going to make a lot of money with my own internet marketing business someday. Well, eventually the time would come where I would need to put all this stuff that I learned into action. And it was around the year 2000, or it was the year 2009, and it was around the month of June. I had just bought a house with my girlfriend. We bought our first house together, and I was still working the job as an architectural designer, and we were living in this house. I'm still here now, actually. We moved into the house, and I was here for about 2 months with her, and then she decided that she didn't want to be here anymore, and she just decided to up and leave one day, and we ended up breaking up. And I was left with the house by myself, and I had to pay all the bills. And she really didn't care about paying the mortgage or how it was going to get paid. She just knew that she wanted to leave, and she didn't want to be with me anymore. And she didn't want to pay for the mortgage. So I didn't want to lose the house. I didn't want it to go against my credit. So I had to figure out a way to keep the house myself and pay for the mortgage. I wasn't making enough money at my job to pay for the mortgage myself. So at that time I said, okay, something's got to happen here. I got to figure out a way to make extra money. So I took a week off from work to deal with, what just happened. I was devastated by her leaving. And on top of that, I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills. So I basically stayed in the house for like a week straight, called out of work. And, at the end, I really didn't figure out what I was going to do. I ended up going back to work a week later, and when I showed up into work, my boss told me that while I was gone, they had been laying people off because business wasn't good, and the housing market was starting to go under, and no one was building houses, and business owners weren't building buildings, so we had no buildings to design. So my boss told me that although I had not been laid off like other people, that he had cut my hours down from 40 hours down to, I believe, 32, which was 4 days a week. So I got this huge cut in pay on top of, my girlfriend's second income, leaving. I had also lost, a big chunk of my own income. So not only could I not afford my, afford my mortgage payment on my own income, I had also lost a huge portion of my income. So I had no way to pay my bills at all. I was totally lost. It was a really dark time in my life. And I had no idea how I was going to pay my bills. I thought I was going to be homeless within, the next month or so because, I barely had any money in the bank and I had no way to pay my bills. So what I decided to do right then and there was come up with a solution, right now on how to take things to the next level. I decided that I was going to quit my job. If they're going to cut my hours like that, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to start my own business right now. I'm going to take all the stuff that I've learned over the past 2 years and I'm going to put it to use, and I'm going to start a business and I'm going to make this work. I'm not going to lose my house. I'm going to, make a lot of money and I'm going to be successful and I'm not going to lose at this battle. So I quit my job and I started a local web design business. Now, I started a local web design business because I thought that was the easiest thing for me to get started in because I knew how to, I had a basic idea on how to build websites. I wasn't good at it, but I knew how to build them. I knew how to outsource the web design process to people overseas to build the websites for cheap. And I knew how to rank the websites on the front page of Google. So I figured that I could get some local businesses to pay me to build their websites. And I did, through some clever marketing techniques, I ended up getting my first couple clients through referrals and stuff like that, through family members and friends. And I made enough money to survive for about a month or two and pay my own bills. But after that first month or two, I had no more clients and I needed to get more immediately if I wanted to, keep my business thriving. And I turned to web video. I started making these little YouTube videos online, basically teaching local businesses on why they needed a WordPress website. So my specialty was building websites with WordPress so that business owners could edit and manage websites themselves. So that was the little niche that I had. I was a WordPress web designer. So I went on my computer and I downloaded a free, not free, it's a paid software, but I downloaded a free trial of Camtasia and I started making these little tutorial videos, teaching business owners why getting a website built in WordPress would be the best solution for them, because they could manage their website, update it themselves, etc. So they wouldn't have to pay a web designer to do it for them every time they wanted something little changed on the website. So I made a bunch of these little videos, and at the end of these videos, I pitched my web design services. I said, if you like what you see in these videos, then you should give me a call because I specialize in building WordPress websites for businesses just like you. So I put these videos on the internet, and business owners ended up finding them and ended up calling me. And I ended up getting a lot of clients through those videos. And that's how my video marketing career started was, I created these simple videos to promote my web design services. And it basically saved me because one of the first videos that I put out ended up helping me get one of my biggest clients, which was an e-commerce website. And that client pretty much saved me. I was in the early days of starting my business, after I went through those first couple clients and I needed to find more, I'd gone through weeks where I had, almost no money in the bank and I couldn't sleep at night. I was wondering how I was going to pay my bills. I'd wondered if quitting my job was the best choice. Had I made this huge mistake by quitting my job and starting my own business? Am I going to make a fool out of myself by failing in this business? How am I going to get these new clients? And like I said, the answer ended up being getting the word out there about my business through web video. I had no money to pay for advertising to advertise my business, and video allowed me to get the word out about my business out there for free, and it allowed me to brand myself as an expert and authority as a local WordPress web designer. So after I started getting those videos out and I started getting some new clients, I basically leveraged those existing clients and turned them into more clients. I turned those existing clients into repeat clients, and my business started to take off. Things were looking good. And then, so this was in early 2009, like I said, when I started my business, and I probably didn't start using video until probably the fall of 2009. So I struggled for about 2 to 3 to 4 months in my business until I figured out, I needed to use video. And then when my business started getting successful, which was probably, I'd say around winter 2009, early 2010, I would say January 2010 is when things started to take off. I ran that business for a while, and then the spring of 2010, I was on the internet one day, and I was reading a popular internet marketing forum called the Warrior Forum, and I came across this section where people were asking a bunch of questions about how to start an offline marketing business or how to start a local web design business. And people were asking for information. They needed help on how to start the business that I had succeeded in. So I saw a huge opportunity to help these people and also make money at the same time by creating a course on how to start your own web design business and how to make money selling websites to local businesses. So in the Warrior Forum, there's a section called the Warrior Special Offers section, or WSO section. And that's basically a section on that forum where members create products and sell those products to the Warrior Forum members. And I saw this as a huge opportunity to share my knowledge with the Warrior Forum community and help people start their own business. And also, I would make a little bit of money in the process by teaching these people because they would be paying for my video course. So I spent the next 2 to 3 months putting together my first course. And the course was about how to make money flipping websites to local businesses. So during my web design adventures, I had figured out a way to make money by building these little niche websites. These little niche websites focused on offline niches, such as restaurants in a certain city or, a certain type of business in a certain city. For example, my first website was oldportrestaurants.com. And that website was basically a business directory dedicated to showcasing all the different restaurants in the Old Port area, which is a little area down here in Portland, Maine. So I made this little directory and I went door to door to all the restaurants in the Old Port, and I said, hey, I'm building this business directory. And it's on the first page of Google, which it was because I ranked it there. People are going to be coming across my website when they're searching for restaurants in the Old Port. Would you like to pay a small fee and be featured on my business directory? And I got a few businesses to pay me a monthly fee to be on my website. And then once I did that, once the website had been profitable, I actually listed that website for sale on Craigslist, and I flipped it to someone locally. The person who bought it was actually a local real estate agent who was looking for a way to make extra money. So that little business model that I discovered, which I called local website flipping, I thought it was a cool idea, and I thought others would want to learn how I did that locally. So I put together a course called Local Flip Formula. And that was the very first course I created. I put it for sale on the Warrior Special Offers section, and it was very popular, and it actually sold a couple, I would say 200 to 300 copies in the first week, and I had made probably around $5,000 or $6,000 in the course of 2 weeks by selling that course on the Warrior Forum. And when that happened, I thought, wow, there's a huge opportunity here to not only help these people, but for me to launch a whole nother business, by creating these courses, teaching other people, how I'm being successful in my other business, which was my web design business. So I had decided that I'm going to start making courses teaching all the different areas of how I was running my business. And that was the birth of my info product empire, if you will. I have created probably over 30 courses since then, and I've made easily, I would say, close to $500,000 in sales of info products since then. In just the past, I would say almost 3 years now. And to make these courses, all I did was I turned on Camtasia and I taught people, what I was doing in my business. I created PowerPoint slides, and I, talked in the microphone like I'm doing right now. And I, explained to people how I was building my business, and I created little video courses, and I also created little promo videos to help promote these video courses. So as you can see, video has been a huge part in me building both of my businesses. It helped me launch my local web design business. It helped me approach clients and position myself as an expert in my local niche here as a WordPress web designer. And then in return, it also helped me launch a whole other business model, selling information to other marketers through the form of video courses. And of course, I also used videos to promote those courses. Video has been a huge part of my business. And this is basically how I created a six-figure business from scratch, leveraging the power of web video. Now, when I get started, I had no experience at all, as you can tell by my story. When I launched my first info product, my first video course, I had no email list. I had no experience as an internet marketer. No one knew who I was. But all I did was recognize a need in the marketplace for some good, solid information on offline local marketing. I created a course to fill that need. People needed help in this area, and it sold like crazy and allowed me to launch this new business. Now, this basically brings me to where I'm at today. Now I still help local businesses grow their business with internet marketing techniques. I don't personally build websites anymore. That's something I've kind of gotten away from because it's just, my business has evolved over the past 3 years, and I basically offer consulting to a few handful of my clients. I also offer video marketing services now. And I'm also specializing in teaching other internet marketers on how to leverage web video to grow their business, which, of course, brings me to the launch of the VRP website, where I create courses teaching other internet marketers on how to grow their business with web video. I have several different courses on there now on how to get started with web video in your business, how to create promo videos to sell your products and services, etc. So I'm still sharing my knowledge through the form of video courses. That basically brings me to where I'm at today. Now, my future goals are to continue to teach people about the power of web video. And my goals are to take Video Revolver into a huge brand online, and I want to make it one of the best resources that people go to when it comes time for them to learn about how to use web video in their online businesses. And my future goals are to grow this website and turn it into a huge business within itself and help a lot of people in the process. So that's my story. Hopefully, that motivates you to get started or take yourself to the next level in some way. And obviously, my final thoughts here are obviously make sure you have a very detailed and realistic thought out plan on where you want to be. I would be miles ahead of where I am right now if I had taken the time and laid out a very detailed and realistic plan on where I wanted to be with my business. I've wasted so much time trying to do the same things over and over that didn't work. I'm a very stubborn person, and when something doesn't work, I tend to want to try it, 10 or 12 times to basically until I learn my lesson and realize that it doesn't work. If I was to change anything about my journey over the past 4 years, it would be to recognize when I need to make a change in my business and basically adapt. So make sure that you have a very detailed and well thought out plan, and make sure you follow it through to the end. Make sure you believe in yourself. Don't listen to what anyone else says. When I started my business, no one else believed in me. Ironically, the girlfriend that ended up leaving me and leaving the house, she did not believe in my business ideas at all. And when she left, that was a huge opportunity for me to basically do what I wanted to do. She was holding me back in essence, and told me that I shouldn't start my internet marketing business. And when she left, that was a huge opportunity for me to pursue my dreams. If she had not left, I probably would still be working behind a desk job right now as an architectural designer. So, the darkest point in my life, which was when she left and I lost my job, actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because it allowed me to figure out what I really wanted in life and allowed me to start my business and pursue my dreams. So make sure you believe in yourself. Don't listen to what anyone else says. If you know it can work, it can work. Never give up. And also, another piece of advice I would give you is make sure you put yourself in a situation where you have no choice but to succeed. As you can see, I had no choice but to succeed, or I would be homeless. If I had not put myself or gotten put in that situation, I don't believe I would have been a success. I believe that I still would have dabbled around in internet marketing and had not taken it seriously. I would have just kept on learning the next greatest marketing technique, and I would have thought to myself, "Oh, that's cool. I'll put it to use someday." And I probably never would have, because I didn't need to. So make sure you put yourself in a situation where you have no choice but to succeed. Me personally, I work best when I put my back up against the wall and I have no choice but to, move forward. So if you're the same way as me, make sure you do that for yourself. Now, I'm not saying go out there and quit your day job today or tomorrow. Just make sure you give yourself a solid reason and, a real reason why you need to succeed. It's not enough just to think that internet marketing is cool or video marketing is cool and that you'd like to have a business in it someday. That's not enough. And being comfortable with your life and your current situation is your worst enemy. You never want to be comfortable. This is something else I've learned over these past couple of years. When I first got to 6 figures, I thought, okay, now I can stop working and I don't have to work as hard. I'm making 6 figures. I've made it. And that was the worst thing I could ever say to myself, because I got lazy. I stopped creating products. I stopped marketing my business, and for about a 6-month period, and I got lazy, and my income dropped drastically. So make sure you continue to stay hungry. Never be satisfied with your success. Keep looking to take yourself to that next level. Never be comfortable. And like I said, being comfortable is your worst enemy. So the message here is that video is a great way to get your message out there. If you have no money to get started, in promoting your business, video is the best way to get your business and your message out there. Even if you've got a huge advertising budget, video is a great way for you to get your message out there. It allows you to get in front of your ideal audience and position yourself as an expert, just like I did as a local web designer. Even though I had no experience and I was not really an expert, it allowed me to position myself as an expert, because business owners were coming across my videos, hearing all this great advice I had about why they need WordPress or their website built with WordPress. They were coming across these videos, and I was projecting myself as an expert because they were listening to my advice, and in return, they end up hiring me to do their website. So just go out there and do it. Swallow your pride. Even if your videos look horrible, just learn as you go. My videos were ugly when I first got started. They were ridiculous, but they still got me clients. So don't think about it too much. Just get out there and take action. So here we are at the end of the show. This is where I'm going to be reading people who left the Video Revolver podcast some reviews in the iTunes marketplace. And if you want me to read your name and your review live on the air, make sure you head over to videorevolver.com/iTunes, rate me 5 stars, and leave me a short review. And again, I'll read your review live on the air in a future episode. Okay, so let's head over and see who has left us a review in the past week. So the first review comes from Ben Price Insights, and he gives the show a 5-star review, and he says, "Video without images, a podcast, of course. Peter provides a clever and practical introduction to creating several types of videos of value to small offline and online businesses and the marketing consultants that serve them. I'm grateful he refrained from making it a promo fest for his many solid products, of which I have many," he says, and focused on the topic. His understated style is refreshing to me in our world of overhyped and overdramatized claims. I appreciate a podcast for the obvious reasons of portability and being freed from a screen. Nonetheless, I was struck by the irony of grabbing pen and paper to make notes as I was listening. Perhaps an accompanying outline or key talking points could be distributed with the podcast so I can follow along and find my way back to particular points I want to revisit. But I am quibbling. Thanks for a good treatment of an important topic, and I look forward to the future installments Peter promised to deliver. Thanks so much, Ben. I assume that's your name. Thanks so much for a review. I'm so glad you like the show, and I might look into offering some key talking points out, on a PDF or something like that, but probably won't come until the future. But I'm just going to focus on building the show right now and delivering quality content. And when the time comes, if I have enough time to put together some key talking points, I will do that. But thanks so much for being a listener, and thanks for the review. The next review comes from S. Williams 09. And of course, S. Williams gives us a 5-star review, and he or she says, "Great podcast. Peter really knows his stuff. I've been a big fan of his for a while now, and you can tell from his experience that he's the real deal. If you want to learn more about video marketing, he's your guy." Thanks so much for that awesome review. I really appreciate it, S. Williams 09. The next review comes from Lexi Luhu 99. Sorry if I didn't say that right. But he or she says, "How does he do it? I have learned so much from Peter to use in my own business. Sometimes it seems like he has a second brain to come up with all these great ideas on how to leverage with web video. You can learn so much from Peter if you listen to his techniques and then apply them. He really knows what he's talking about when it comes to web video." And of course, that also comes with a 5-star rating. Thanks so much for that review. I wish I had a better brain. That would be totally awesome. And I also wish I had X-ray vision, but that's another episode. So thanks so much for listening to another episode of the Video Revolver podcast. Thanks for everyone who has left a review. And again, don't forget to visit me at videorevolver.com. And don't forget to leave the show a review and a 5-star rating on iTunes at videorevolver.com/iTunes. I will talk to you next week. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Video Revolver podcast. If you like the show, you should check me out on videorevolver.com, where you'll find more tips, tricks, and techniques on how you can create amazing web videos that sell more of your products and services. If you have any questions for me, you can always leave a comment directly on the website, or you can always call me on the Video Revolver voicemail line and leave me a message. I might play your question and answer it live on the air in a future episode. That number